Good evening, everyone. I am CA Ankur Goyal, moderator of this webinar. We are delighted to welcome you all in the webinar being organized by the Continuous Professional Education Committee of ICI. It is my pleasure to be a moderator of this 60-second webinar on due diligence, risk and transparency in the business deals and automation with power automation. In a short while, we will start the webinar. First, I would like to apprise you about CPE committee. In today's ever-changing professional scenario worldwide, the biggest challenge the professional face is how to stay on top of their game while adapting to the new requirements and the norms. Therefore, it is imperative to aim to be up to date to often unique guidance. Influence others with their innovation approach and expertise. It is also vital to stretch old ideas beyond traditional boundaries to create the perspectives. In this context, continuous professional educational facilitate professional to maintain, improve, and broaden their knowledge, skill, and expertise required to achieve their professional goals through webinars, seminars, etc. The program for this evening is as follows. We have two sessions of 1 hour each, and topics are due diligence, process and issues, a deep dive into risk assessment and transparency in business deals. And second one is automation with Power Automate. Our eminent speakers will talk about method to emerging areas of professional interest. We are having Sanjeev Shah sir with us. I warm welcome to Sanjeev Shah sir.
Thank
Due
you.
diligence is not a due diligence is not a merely a checklist. It is a mindset that defines the depth and quality of our professional work. In today's business landscape, marked by the corporate restructuring, regulation, scrutiny, and dynamic risk environments. Understanding the scope, methodologies, and documentation standards of due diligence is inspirational. This session aims to help us strengthen our understanding of the profession and the regulatory expertization, the practical challenges faced during assessments. We are indeed fortunate to have with us CA Sanjeev Shah sir from Vadodara. He is a practicing chartered accountant with over 30 years of experience in merger and acquisition, forensic and overwhelming investigations, cybersecurity, internal financial control, and business restructuring. A certified course examiner from USA and certified in a cybersecurity from USA. He has served a independent director in the several PSUs and private sector companies. He is currently a co-opted member of the Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of ICI for 2025 and 26. We deeply appreciate you, sir, taking time out of your busy schedule to share your knowledge and insight with us today. Without further ado, may I now invite CA Sanjeev sir to take us through today's session on due diligence, risk transparency in business deals. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Goelji, for kind words for the introduction. And I am really thankful to CP committee, the chairman of CP committee and vice chairman of CP committee to give me this opportunity to share some of my views on this area of due diligence, where chartered accountants play a very important role. Rather, they are the foundation of this particular exercise. So, thanks a lot, CP committee. I will just share my presentation and start. I hope the presentation screen is okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll minimize this. Yeah. So the today's topic is basically the whole gamut of due diligence, which mainly covers the process of due diligence and the key issues involved in the entire process of the due diligence. So basically, it's a comprehensive guidance to master the due diligence process in mergers, acquisition, and any strategic investment or business deals. So in today's session, I will cover this topic which probably comprises of the areas related to due diligence. To start with the introduction to the due diligence, various types of due diligence, objectives of due diligence, why due diligence matters. Also, I will cover the process overview, which include the planning stage, data collection stage, analysis stage, and reporting stage. To be followed with the issues which are normally found out during the due diligence process include the financial issues, tax issues, legal issues, operational issues, ITC, information technology and cyber issues, HR and people issues, followed by what are the challenges the professional faces during the due diligence process, and then many important topic on the deal pressure, how the professional take care of the deal pressure as far as the due diligence exercise is concerned, and what are the mitigation measures that are available and that being used by the professionals. And then particularly this, as I mentioned, this the role of chartered accountant is very important as far as the due diligence area is concerned. So we'll explain what is the role of chartered accountants being played in the due diligence exercise, and what are the best practices for the due diligence, including some case studies and executive summaries during the next 45-50 minutes. So to start with, what is the due diligence? Due diligence is nothing but a comprehensive investigation and evaluation process conducted before business transactions, examining financial, legal, operational, and strategic aspects to identify risk and opportunities. So basically, three areas I would like to mention. The critical role in merger and acquisition. The due diligence play very critical role in merger and acquisition as far as decision making in various mergers and acquisition, and providing insight into the company operations and potential liabilities. Second is the investment protection. It safeguards the investor interest by uncovering hidden risk, validating financial projections, and ensuring regulatory compliance. And the next is strategic planning. The due diligence enables strategic planning and integration roadmaps by identifying operational synergies and potential challenges. So this was the introduction of the due diligence. Now, various types of due diligence. Say comprehensive DD review encompasses multiple specialized areas, each providing critical insights. To start with financial, then tax, financial, as we all know, financial statement, cash flow, revenue recognition, accounting practices to verify financial health and identify potential red flags as far as the financial matters are concerned. Tax due diligence, it includes review of tax compliance, pending assessment, transfer pricing policies, and potential tax liabilities across all jurisdictions. Legal, examination of corporate structure, contracts, intellectual property rights, litigation history, and regulatory compliance status. These areas are required to be looked into while going through the legal part of the due diligence. What is look into as far as the commercial part is concerned is it include assessment of market position, competitive landscape as far as that particular company is concerned, as far as a particular industry segment is concerned, customer relationships of that company with various stakeholders, and revenue sustainability factors. Regulatory, review of industry-specific regulations, licensing requirements, and environment and compliance and government approvals are being looked into. Operational due diligence covers analysis of business processes, supply chain efficiency, operational control and management system effectiveness. As far as the HR part is concerned, it includes evaluation of workforce capabilities, compensation structures of the employees, employee contracts and organizations culture alignment. As far as the IT and cyber is concerned, it includes assessment of technology infrastructure, cyber security measures, data management practices, and system integration capabilities. Now, what are the objectives of due diligence? Mainly four: to verify financial position, to ensure legal compliance, to assess risk profile of the particular company, target company, and to support by virtue of the due diligence exercise to support the valuation. So as far as the financial position, as I mentioned, and for chartered accountant, no need to explain into much details. As far as the legal compliance is concerned, whether the company adhere to the applicable laws, regulation, and industry standards. As far as the how to assess the risk profile of the respective company. Identify and quantify operational, financial, legal, and strategic risk that could affect transaction value or post-merger integration process. It is not only important that once the deal is over, the importance of due diligence is over, because the impact of the due diligence even goes after the deal is over, because post-merger integration success is definitely dependent on the efficiency of due diligence process. Support the valuation, because it provides data-driven insight for the accurate business valuation. Why due diligence matters? Because you see, in today's complex business environment, due diligence serves as the critical defense mechanism. How? So it uncovers hidden liabilities, undisclosed debts, contingent liabilities, potential legal obligation that could significantly impact deal value and future cash flows, because these liabilities are not featured on the face of the balance sheet or any financial statement. So this has to be uncovered by the due diligence team. Identify compliance gaps, discover regulatory violation, tax non-compliance, operational deficiency that could result in penalties and sanctions. Enable smart decision because of all this, because these are not part of the balance sheet, because these are off balance sheet items. By finding out this kind of hidden liabilities and compliance gaps, the acquirer can take the smart business decisions and then appropriately make the risk mitigation strategies. Now the process overview in brief. It includes majorly 5 parts. One is number one is planning stage, which includes defining the scope and establish the time frames. The next step is data collection stage, which involves the virtual data room. Create a virtual data room by giving the list of information document which is required. Analysis of the documents which are available in a virtual data room, and through examination of collect data using specialized analytical techniques and industry benchmarks. One has to compare the data against the industry benchmarks and find out the anomalies, if any. Management interviews, engage with key stakeholders to validate findings and gain insights into strategic direction and operational challenges. So this is very important stage. Only analysis is not important. If you arrive at some analysis, one has to have the dialogue with the management to have the correct view. And finally, the reporting. So the first stage is planning stage, because planning stage is called the foundation for success of the entire due diligence process, because it establishes the framework for effective due diligence execution. Now, first step in the planning stage is define comprehensive scope. One has to structure the scope of due diligence very clearly with clear boundaries for investigation, which include financial, legal, operational, and strategic areas that are needs to be examined. One is to enter into confidentiality agreements with the related parties. The next is providing information request list, which is extremely important because creating detailed IRL, information request list, covers all required documents, data, and information needed for thorough evaluation. And next is also very critically important is establishing the time agreement. See, set the realistic deadlines for data protection, data provision, analysis, completion, and report delivery while maintaining quality standards. Next step is data collection stage. Here, as I mentioned, one has to go for a virtual data room access because nowadays no due diligence teams normally visits the factory except once or twice to visit the real factory location, condition of the factory, then operation and all, have the final discussion after the due diligence process is over with the management and the accounts team. Otherwise, the entire exercise is undertaken with the help of virtual data room, which for which the access is to be given to the due diligence team. Now, as far as the data collection is concerned, financial statements, as we all know, the audited and unaudited financial statement, management accounts, and details supporting schedule for multiple years. Tax documentation includes tax returns, assessment order, correspondence with tax authorities, and legal documentation includes corporate documents, material contracts, intellectual property records, litigation files, and regulatory correspondence. So these are the areas.
भाई सीसीएम करके यहाँ पे आ रहा था ना, वहाँ पहले उनकी जगह से पहले लिख देना सीसीएम का ना.
These are the areas as far as the data collection stage is concerned.
सेकंड में हमें ऊपर नीचे कर.
Sorry.
गिन्नी गोयल जी से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि प्लीज म्यूट योरसेल्फ. देयर इज इंटरप्शन. Sorry, sir, for the interruption. Now you can continue, sir.
Yeah, okay. So the next step is analysis. So chartered accountants are well versed with the financial ratio analysis, which include examination of profitability, liquidity, leverage, and efficiency ratios, and which needs to be compared with the industry benchmark and historical trends of the respective company. Tax position review, detailed assessment of tax compliance status, pending disputes, and potential future tax liabilities across all applicable tax regimes. It is extremely important. We'll take up one of the case studies for a particular subject. Litigation assessment is also important because it requires thorough review of pending legal matters, potential claims, and assessment of litigation risk and financial exposure. Because this kind of, by particularly verifying the litigation area, the professional will find out the potential future liability that may arise because of the outcome of a particular litigation which is going on with various tax authority or in the matter of or in the court of law. Operational review. It includes analysis of business processes, organization structure, human resources policy, and operational efficiency metrics. So this includes the operational part of the respective company. Reporting stage. So after the planning, data collection, and analysis, the final stage is reporting. So reporting stage transform analysis into actionable insights, providing stakeholders with clear understanding of risk, opportunities, and recommendations. Now, under the reporting stage, first comes in the red flag report, because it's an extremely critical part of the due diligence report. Red flag report is nothing but immediate identification of critical issues requiring urgent attention, including material risk that could impact deal progression or valuation, because either it is do or not, go or not to go as far as the deal is concerned based on the red flag report. to be followed by the detailed due diligence report, which includes comprehensive analysis covering all investigated areas with detailed findings, supporting evidence, and quantified risk assessments. And the final part of the report covers recommendation and risk ratings, strategic recommendation for risk mitigation. What are the risks which has been found out during the due diligence exercise, and what are the mitigation measures that are to be recommended? Deal structure optimization based on the findings of the due diligence and based on the risk and based on the red flag items, how the deal is to be structured and how the valuation part is being optimized, that it is the critical role to be played by professional during the due diligence exercise. And post-transaction integration planning with prioritized action item, because some of the items found out during the due diligence process needs to be taken care of, because the post-transaction integration will cover such areas. Now we will take up issues. We'll take up different issues which I mentioned earlier, to start with financial issues, tax issues, legal issues, operational issues, and others. Now, as far as the financial issues are concerned, financial due diligence often uncovers significant issues that can materially impact deal value and future performance. These issues require careful analysis and appropriate deal structure adjustment. Based on these financial issues, deal structure adjustment have to take place, and normally taking place after the due diligence is over. What are those? EBITDA adjustments. During the due diligence exercise, one will find out the aggressive normalization adjustments, one-time expense classification, revenue recognition issues that inflate reported profitability. So this issue needs to be taken up during the EBITDA adjustment, normal EBITDA, and add less. Okay, I mean, one has to go for an EBITDA adjustment and come out with the final adjusted EBITDA calculation, which will be used as far as the deal value is concerned. Working capital disputes, disagreement over working capital normalization, seasonal variation, and cash conversion cycle management affecting deal pricing. I'll give you some example about the working capital part. Say, as far as they say, for an example, trade receivables are concerned. If high overdue and stretched collection cycle, if you find out, it impacts the overstated receivables and potential provision is required. As far as the inventory, slow moving and obsolete stock not fully provided, which give the impact in inventory overstated and margin distortion. As far as the trade payables are concerned, shorter payable cycle than industry norms suggest higher cash outflow and working capital inefficiency. Vendor advances, large supplier advances without safeguards, and statutory dues delayed payment observed in multiple months suggest compliance exposure and penalties, possibility of the penalties. Say, for example, late filing of the stock statement with the banks, which probably create an issue as far as the penalty to be imposed by the banks, as far as the working capital limits are concerned. Next is aggressive accounting. Liberal interpretation of accounting standards, premature revenue recognition, and expense capitalization practices that overstate performance. This needs to be taken care of. Unrecorded liabilities like off-balance sheet obligation, contingent liabilities, and undisclosed commitment that could impact future cash flows. I will take up some issues as far as the unrecorded liabilities are concerned. Say, statutory dues, interest, penalty on delays, GST, TDS, PF payment not recorded. These are unrecorded liabilities, some of the example. Pending litigation not provided, warranty provisions understated vis-a-vis historic trends. Bonus leave encashment accrued on cash basis. Consultant contractor services completed but unbilled. Product quality disputes, customer claim undisclosed. payable to group entities as far as the related party settlements are concerned, which is unrecorded, and tax assessment, income tax, GST dispute under appeal not provided. I'll give one recent example we faced during one of the diligence exercise where GST has imposed the some order imposing some penalty with some non-compliance, and the company could not challenge that order in time with the appellate authority, and then lost the opportunity, and then the finally company was required to pay the heavy penalty amount about 60 to 70 lakhs of rupees. So this kind of unrecorded liability one has to look into and then find out and then take into effect as far as the EBITDA adjustment are concerned and the deal structure is concerned. Tax issues. Tax related issues represent some of the most significant risk in due diligence, often involving substantial financial exposure and complex compliance requirements. Pending litigations, outstanding dispute with the tax authorities, TDS, GST compliance gaps, non-compliance with the tax deduction at source and goods and service tax, GST regulation leading to potential penalties, transfer pricing disputes, as far as the related party is concerned, arm's length pricing documentation and international transfer pricing compliance requirement are definitely required to be looked into. MAT and AMT adjustments, minimum alternate tax and alternative minimum tax calculation errors leading to additional tax liabilities and compliance complications. Legal issues are concerned. Critical legal compliance gaps. Legal due diligence frequently reveals compliance failures that can result in significant penalties, operational restriction, and reputational damage. Some of the legal issues being found out during the due diligence exercise covers ROC non-compliance in the Ministry of Company Affairs, Register of Companies filing delays, incomplete disclosure and statutory requirement violations affecting corporate standing, FEMA, RBI, SEBI lapses, foreign exchange, banking and security regulation violation are probably which may in future trigger regulatory actions and then to be followed with the financial penalties. Contract and IP issues covers improperly structured agreement with the clients for a long-term contracts for supply of material or services, intellectual property disputes, and inadequate protection of proprietary assets. Undisclosed litigations. As we mentioned earlier, concealed legal proceedings, potential claims and regulatory investigation that could impact business operations. Some of the operational issues, these are operational vulnerabilities normally being found out during the DD exercise. It reveals systematic weaknesses that could impair business continuity and growth potential. What are those? One, lack of standard operating procedure SOP, which is in many of the cases for a small companies, we do not find the standard operating procedures, absence of documented process, quality control, and operational guidelines, creating operational inconsistency and risk exposure. Excessive promoter dependence. This is also very important. Over reliance on key individuals for critical business functions without adequate successor planning or knowledge transfer mechanism. See what is happening when the company is dependent on one or two person having the sufficient experience, of course, but then they are of the age of 55, 60 or 65. And then do not know how much they are going to be there with the company, even after retirement or at the superannuation. So over dependence on such individuals also create an issue. Labor relation disputes, ongoing conflict with the workforce, union negotiation and employment law compliance. Insurance coverage gaps, inadequate insurance protection against operational risks are to be looked into. IT and cyber issues. Technology and cybersecurity risks have become increasingly critical in due diligence with potential impact extending far beyond IT operations. Now, three areas which I have covered: weak ERP and IT controls, inadequate enterprise resource planning, ERP systems, insufficient IT governance, and poor system integration, creating operational inefficiencies and data integrity risk. These are the IT issues. Cybersecurity vulnerabilities covers insufficient cybersecurity measures, outdated security protocols, and inadequate incident response capabilities, exposing organization to cyber threats. Last but very important, after passing of the new law, data privacy non-compliance, violation of data protection regulations, inadequate privacy controls, and improper handling of sensitive customer and employee information. In some cases, we have seen that in the company, because of the poor IT controls, the details of the customers are being hacked by hacker, which being misused for some other reason. HR and people issues. Human resources issues can significantly impact post-transaction success. As I mentioned, this particular issue will affect the post-integration measures, post-integration success. So these issues impact post-transaction success, operational continuity, and cultural integration efforts. To start with, high attrition risk, elevated turnover rates among key personnel, inadequate retention strategies, and succession planning gaps that threaten business continuity. If these kind of issues are not properly looked into or adhered to by the target company, that create definite risk. Improper ESOP structures, poor design employee ESOP plans, valuation issues create future liabilities. Labor law non-compliance, violation of employment regulations, and workplace safety standard that expose organization to penalties and litigations. Now, what are the challenges being faced during the due diligence exercise? Due diligence professionals face numerous obstacles that can compromise the quality and effectiveness of the review process. To start with, incomplete data access, limited availability of critical information by the management, missing documentation, and reluctance to provide sensitive data hampering comprehensive analysis. These are very, very common issue being faced by almost all professionals during the due diligence exercise once it is commenced. Management resistance, uncooperative management teams, defensive response to inquiries, and attempts to control information flow, affecting investigation depth. These are also very common things, because some of the negative things, if it is found out, management is always reluctant to provide the necessary guidance and response. Time constraint, compressed deal timelines, competing priorities, and pressure to expedite reviews potentially compromise thoroughness and quality. If proper time is not being allocated for the due diligence exercise and provided to the due diligence team, then this kind of issue, that the risk is involved, because they won't be able to review with the thoroughness and quality. Valuation disagreements, conflicting interpretation of findings, dispute over risk assessment, and difficult reaching consensus on value implications. So once the due diligence exercise is almost over, what are the main issues being found out as far as the potential tax implication, hidden liabilities, which impact the valuation. And once it is being discussed with the management, which creates a lot of issues as far as, because resistance, as mentioned, always management is resistant and reluctant to accept the findings of the due diligence. So conflict in interpretation of findings normally taking place, but one has to deal with this. Deal pressure issues, which is commonly found during each and every exercise, because deal pressure where thorough due diligence becomes challenging, yet remains more critical than ever for transaction success. Because due diligence is definitely required for a transaction success, but timeline compression with average reduction in due diligence time under deal pressure situation creates a lot of issues. As I mentioned, one is to give the acquiring company should give the sufficient time to do diligence team as far as the thoroughness of the exercise to be undertaken. Overlook issues, increase in missed red flags when operating under compressed timeline. This is what happens. When you don't have much time, then the issues being found out and labeled as red flags. The team don't have much time, and then somehow they have to overlook, which creates a negative impact as far as the efficiency of the due diligence process is concerned. Negotiation delays, additional time required to resolve issues discovered late in the process. So if the issues are found out in the later part of the process, the negotiation as per deal pricing always delays. Now, we'll deal with the mitigation measures. What are the strategies for effective risk management as far as the DD exercise is concerned? Say, implementing robust mitigation strategies ensure comprehensive DD despite challenging condition and timelines. Despite the challenging conditions and the tight timelines which are being given, how the professional should strategize for the effective risk management and go for a successful due diligence with efficiency concerned. Comprehensive information request, this is most important part. IRL, develop detailed IRL covering all critical areas with prioritization framework to ensure essential information is obtained first, even under time constraints. Virtual data room controls, implement robust virtual data room governance with clear access protocols, audit trails, and systematic document organization to facilitate efficient review process. Next is independent expert opinion, because what is happening, some of the items which you find out during the due diligence exercise, you may not be that expert on a particular either income tax or GST or FEMA. Then in that case, the due diligence team has to engage specialized legal and tax advisor to provide independent assessment and validate findings, especially for complex regulatory and compliance matters. Continuous stakeholder dialogues. Say all these findings and then issues, the DD team has to continuously have a dialogue with the management, maintain regular communication with all parties to address concern promptly, clarify ambiguities, and ensure alignment on critical issues throughout the process, and try to see that the proper solution is found out and then which is required to be reported in the due diligence report. Now, what are the role of chartered accountants for the professional excellence in due diligence? Chartered accountants bring unique professional competencies and ethical standards that are essential for effective due diligence execution. Because CAs provide independent professional review, provide objective, unbiased analysis free from conflict of interest, ensuring thorough evaluation of financial and operational matters. Because the due diligence team which is appointed are normally not aligned with the target company, not involved with either of the professional capacity of audit, tax, or other consultancy. So they are considered as independent. So they always provide the independent and unbiased analysis. Compliance focused approach. The CAs apply deep knowledge of regulatory requirements, accounting standards, and best practices to identify compliance gaps and assess risk. Red flag identification. CAs leverage professional skepticism and analytical expertise to identify subtle warning signs that might be overlooked by others. These are the critical role of chartered accountant that play during the DD exercise. What are the best practices? Implementing proven best practices ensure consistent quality and effectiveness in due diligence engagement while maintaining professional standard. These are the best practices which are required. There are three major areas: professional skepticism, cross verification methods, and systematic escalation protocols. under the professional skepticism, one has to maintain questioning attitude, because it's very important. Unless and until you have the questioning attitude, the due diligence exercise will not be efficiently over. So one has to maintain questioning attitude throughout the process, challenge the assumption which is received from the management, and independently verify claims rather than accepting information at face value. As I mentioned, in some of the cases, the professional has to engage expert on either tax or FEMA or GST issues to have the independent assessment of the claims being given by the management. Cross verification methods employ multiple verification techniques, including document review, management interviews, third-party confirmation, and analytical procedures to validate findings. And the last one is, as far as the best practice is concerned, systematic escalation protocols, because one will always find out a lot of critical areas, critical issues, hidden liabilities, the red flags. So implement clear procedure for escalating missing information requests, unresolved issues, and critical findings to ensure appropriate attention and resolution. Now I'll take 2-3 case studies. In one of the first case studies related to tax risk, a major acquisition deal was aborted at the final stage when independent tax due diligence revealed previously undisclosed tax liability totaling to rupees 50 crores, fundamentally altering the deal economics, which was reported in the report like the target company had failed to disclose ongoing dispute with the tax authority across multiple jurisdictions. What happened to be a profitable acquisition became a potential liability nightmare. So what are the key lessons? Independent tax due diligence by qualified professional is crucial, regardless of management reputation or existing tax advisor opinion. As I mentioned, one may probably go for an outside expert opinion on such critical issues. Case study 2 on a legal risk. FEMA violation led to RBI penalties. A technology service company faced substantial RBI penalties post-acquisition due to undisclosed Foreign Exchange Management Act violation related to overseas subsidiary transactions. In initial assessment, company presented clean legal compliance record with minimal disclosed issues. But during the deep dive review, independent legal due diligence revealed irregular cross-border payment patterns. And lastly, RBI imposed substantial monetary penalties and operational restrictions. So what is the learning to be take home? Thorough review of cross-border transaction and foreign exchange compliance is essential for companies with international operations, regardless of management assurance. So again and again, I am using the word regardless of management assurance, because management always give their assurance, their side of version. Probably they may come out with some opinion also in writing by some lawyer or the attorneys. But one has to be very critical as far as accepting the information which is provided by the management at a face value. Operational risk, post-deal integration failure. In this case, a manufacturing company acquisition failed to achieve projected synergies due to excessive dependence on the promoter and inadequate management system, highlighting critical operational due diligence oversights. As I mentioned in one of the slides earlier, that the over-dependence on the management of key personnel and then over-dependence on the management, the promoter is debatable. Pre-acquisition status, target company showed strong financial performance under the promoter leadership, but post-acquisition reality, what has happened? Operational deteriorated rapidly when promoter reduced involvement. Integration challenges, lack of documented process and weak management bench hindered integration. So these are the operational issues which sometimes comes in the way of successful post-acquisition integration. What is the key insight? evaluate successive planning, management depth, and operational independence as critical factors in acquisition success, particularly for promoter-driven businesses. So, as I mentioned, and again I'm repeating that promoter-driven businesses, one has to be very critical as far as the successive planning and management depth involved in the day-to-day operations of the company, and whether it is going to be continued after the acquisition is over, after the deal is over or not. Executive summary. A comprehensive overview of critical due diligence findings and risk categories that frequently emerge in transaction reviews. What are the three summaries, main points? Financial risk, tax and legal risk, and operational risk. Under the financial risk, EBITDA misstatement and normalization issues. As I mentioned, the EBITDA which is disclosed as far as the audited financial statement are concerned, but some of the EBITDA misstatement issues which affect the EBITDA and the normalization required to go for an adjusted EBITDA is a key debatable issue with the management. Working capital disputes and cash flow concerns. As far as I mentioned, the old debtors, non-moving inventory, the dead inventory, kind of things. These are the working capital issues. Revenue recognition, aggressive accounting practices followed by the company faces the challenges. Tax and legal risk, pending tax litigation, FEMA, ROC and regulatory violation, and undisclosed legal proceeding and IP issues. These are the tax and legal risk. Operational risk covers IT system weaknesses, cybersecurity gaps, HR compliance issues, and attrition risk. Process documentation, successful planning, because succession planning, as we studied in the one of the case study, impacted the post integration success of the deal. Now, what is the risk assessment and how it is to be mitigated? So hidden liabilities valuation disagreement requires systematic identification and quantification approaches. So this is very critical aspect, since after the due diligence exercise is over, the hidden liability is which impact the deal value and valuation disagreement. It requires systematic identification and then discussion with the management. Mitigation strategies to avoid such kind of risk: strong IRL, information request list, virtual data room controls, and professional skepticism to form the foundation of effective risk management. Now, some of the red flag I am again repeating for the sake of repetition because it's very important, because the due diligence report starts with the red flag dashboard. So main areas which are normally covered on the red flag dashboard, I'm covering some of them. Financial risk covers EBITDA misstatement and aggressive adjustment, hidden liabilities and off-balance sheet items, working capital normalization disputes, cash flow inconsistencies. These are the financial risk. Tax risk, pending litigations and assessment, TDS, GST compliance failures, transfer pricing, documentation gaps, and international tax exposure. Legal risk covers FEMA, SEBI, regulatory violations, ROC compliance failures, undisclosed litigation matters, and intellectual property disputes. So these are financial, tax, and legal. Will cover operational risk, which may cover excessive promoter dependency, which we have taken up in one of the case study. Inadequate standard operating procedure. These are the operational risks. Key person dependencies, as we mentioned in one of the case study. Supply chain vulnerabilities, because it's very important. Unless and until supply chain is comfortable, one cannot guarantee the success of the transaction, success of the business operation that may continue after the deal is over. IT and cyber risk covers weak IT system and cyber security, data privacy, compliance gaps, outdated infrastructure, lack of disaster recovery plan. And HR and people risk covers HR compliance, attrition issues, poor employee engagement, inadequate talent retention strategies, and successive planning gaps. So conclusion of this due diligence process and issues is only in one word: trust but verify. Trust but verify. Due diligence represents a critical balance between trust and verification in business transactions. I am repeating, due diligence represents a critical balance between trust and verification in business transactions while maintaining professional relationship and collaborative approaches. Rigorous independent verification remains essential for transaction success. Now, what is the primary objective and what is the ultimate goal? Under the primary objective of the due diligence is minimize risk, and ultimate goal of the due diligence is maximize value. So how minimize risk is undertaken? Through comprehensive identification, assessment, and mitigation of potential transaction hazards. And how maximum value is achieved by enabling informed decision making by the acquirer team and optimal restructuring and based on complete information that is provided after the due diligence is over. What are the chartered accountant essential role? They provide independent, professional, compliance-focused analysis that serves as the cornerstones of effective due diligence processes. So these are some of the facts, and then my thoughts as far as due diligence access is covered. I may take up some of the question answers, or probably I may, if the time permits, we may take up some of the issues which is normally found out for a better information sharing for the participants.
Yes, sir. It's our pleasure. You can carry on with the
Okay.
issue. So,
Yeah. So some of the issues which we normally find out, and then I'm repeating for the benefit of information. In one of the companies, what happened? The PF Provident Fund is required to be paid by the company under the PF Act for their employees and the workers on the payroll of the company. But for the, say, EPC company, when they hire the contractor, the employee which is hired, the laborer which are hired by the contractor, the provident fund is also required to be paid, and it becomes the responsibility of the company. So what happens, because the contractor, if that does not pay the provident fund of their employees, the responsibility falls on the company. So we have seen in one of the cases that the provident fund of those contractor employees and workers paid by the company. Of course, this is not the legal responsibility, but since it may not impact the future issues, now this is an accounting issue which needs to be taken care of. As I mentioned, GST order not appealed in time creates the confirmed tax liability. Gratuity provision not created, because in some of the small size companies, small size maybe 200 to 500 size crore size company, gratuity provision, one of the company we have found out that gratuity is being paid every month with a salary slip. It's a separate column, gratuity. But as far as the Gratuity Act is concerned, one has to, at the year end, one has to go with the gratuity provision, which was not there. So this becomes the additional liability. Now, what is paid as a gratuity is gone. How to deal with that is a different issue. But the provision which was not done at the end of the particular year end, say March 25, which the balance sheet which was taken up for the due diligence, the gratuity provision was not there. So one has to go for an accrual valuation report, and then the figures which is provided by the expert has to be provided, and which impacted the profitability, which impacted the EBITDA. Normally, we have seen that fixed asset register is not maintained, which is a critical requirement of every due diligence exercise. We have found out that FAR is not being maintained by majority of the cases. Inventory mismatch, overstatement of stock, and missing inventory, old inventory. expired or unrenewed statutory licenses. So what are the key risks under this issue? Non-compliance, risk of penalty or suspension. But here what happens, since the licenses are not renewed, the acquirer normally include this item as under the indemnity issue. So for any future liability, the seller would be held accountable. And probably if the issue is the quantum is large enough, then the acquirer company will insist for some provision, some escrow mechanism for the liability that may accrue after some period of time. As far as revenue recognition issues are concerned, so normally revenue recognition issues are, I'll brief you 3-4 issues. Revenue recognized before transfer of control, invoices booked while goods still in a warehouse, bill on hold. What is the impact? Overstatement of revenue and profits, adjustment is required. Cut-off inconsistency, dispatch date versus invoice dates not aligned at period end. What is the impact? Incorrect revenue timing impacts reported profitability. Variable consideration not estimated. Discount credit note recorded, but recorded later instead of sale date. What is the impact? Earlier period margin overstated. Suppose the invoice is prepared in the month of March, say 15th of March, and the discount which is offered at the for that particular say transaction is the credit note issued in the month of April. So this is a mismatch. And then the March quarter margins are overstated because of this. Related party sales without arm's length terms. So what is the, issue is no pricing justification for related party transaction, which impact governance risk, transfer pricing exposure. As far as the service revenue recognized upfront, no milestone completion evidence for annual maintenance charges, consulting revenue, which impact the premature revenue and affects sustainable EBITDA. As far as the EBITDA misstatements are concerned, this is very important things which is normally found out, which cover the revenue recognition, which I mentioned, variable consideration, as I mentioned, credit notes recognized in later period, expense capitalization, operating expenses capitalized as capital or project WIP, under provisioning for warranty, bad debts and legal provisions, non-recurring income, one-time gains including in operating income, which is part of the operating income, which needs to be adjusted as per the EBITDA calculation is concerned. Related party expenses, personal or related party expenses charged to business, related party margin differences, margin or related party sales not at arm's length prices, obsolete stock not written down to net realizable value, and deferred revenue mismatch, cost expense while revenue deferred, which impact EBITDA, understatement of EBITDA in certain periods. So these are some of the few issues being normally found out during the due diligence exercise. And then the all professionals are well equipped with the financial acumen to cover up and then to take up all these issues and then report in a proper shape as far as due diligence report is concerned. So my presentation ends here. Thank you very much for attention and participation in this due diligence overview. Thank you very much, CP committee. And then over to the moderator, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I really appreciate to your deep knowledge and expertise. The deep knowledge you provided about due diligence is really appreciable and useful for all of us. As we all know, due diligence is must and required in every field of chartered accountants. We will now open the floor for question and answer session. Members may please post or raise their queries. Let make this a interactive learning experience, it's our privilege to have CA Sanjeev Shah sir between us and having golden opportunity to clear our doubts regarding the topic. However, our eminent speaker has covered the topic so comprehensively that there is hardly a room for any doubt. But still, if there is any query, I request all the participants to please raise your query as Sanjeev Shah sir is between us to resolve your queries. There are approximately 330 registered members in today's sessions, and presently 209 participants are there. If anyone has any query, you are most welcome to ask. Uh, as there is no further queries, we shall now conclude our first session. As we concluded today's first session, I would like to express our sincere thanks to our learned speaker, C.A. Sanjeev Shah sir, for enlightening and practical session. Your insight on due diligence process and issues in business deals are wonderful and helpful for all of us. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
Uh,
very much.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the efforts of continuous CP committee of ICI that they are regularly engaged and indulged in the professional learning of all the professionals. As we all know, that ICI is organizing WUFA on 30th, 31st January and 1st of February. And today is the last date to register at discounted rate. So I request you all who has not themselves registered yet, please register today and witness the great event planned and organized by ICI and our Honorable President CA Charanjot Singh Nanda sir. I really appreciate the efforts of our mother body ICI for professional growth. Uh, Such a wonderful deliberation of CA Sanjeev sir. We already have gone through on due to another session. Our second session, eminent speaker CA Alok Sethi sir is joining us within 2 to 3 minutes. So we have to wait for him as he is currently busy in another session, and he will shortly join us uh, in 2 to 3 minutes. So, sorry for the interruption to all of you. Further, also, I would like to tell you that Jaipur branch of CIRC Rajasthan is going to organize. So, I would like to request you, all of you, to register for that also. Uh, our mother body ICI is regularly organizing lots of professional learning sessions. And currently, if you look over that institute is emphasizing AI. And Umesh sir, the chairman of our AI committee, is very dedicated and organizing AI batches all over the branches. I am belong to the Byawar branch. I am chairman of currently. I am chairman of Byawar branch of CIRC. In Byawar also, Byawar is a very small town of India, and in Byawar also we have conducted the AI batch, and I appreciate the efforts of ICI that they are encouraging the small towns also to update themselves and to for the benefit of the members of the institute. I really appreciate and thankful to the institute. Currently, as we all know, CA Satish Gupta sir, chairman of CP committee of ICI, he is also very dedicated and knowledge sharing professional who is regularly sharing his knowledge with the with and for the professionals and dedicated professional. Uh, so he is also very soon join us in this webinar. Uh, Meanwhile, if the another topic of today's session is automation using Power Automate, which is conducted by the Alok Sethi sir, who is AI expert faculty. Everyone know he also belong from Rajasthan only, and my nearby branch. I am from belong from Byawar branch, and CA Alok Sethi sir is belonging from Ajmer branch, the nearby branch of Byawar, and he is very good eminent faculty of AI and AI courses conducted by the ICI. He is regularly take the sessions and involved all of us. I request CP committee that if there is any status and what about the availability of our eminent speaker Alok Ji Sethi sir.
Is joining in the next 2-3 minutes, maximum 2-3 minutes. He'll be joining in the next 2-3 minutes, maximum.
Okay, okay, sir. Shortly, as the CP committee has intimated us that CA Alok Sethi sir will shortly join us uh, for his knowledgeable deliberation. The today's topic with him is also very interesting. Automation using Power Automate. Currently, we all knows currently AI is playing a vital role in our profession, and being a professional, we appreciate the efforts of ICI. Uh, AI is very helpful and useful for the profession, and Microsoft Power Automate to enhance the efficiency, accuracy, and productivity in our workflow. So it is a very useful tool for for all of us. So please be patient and be there as Sethi sir shortly join us for his knowledgeable session. Meanwhile, if anyone have queries for Sanjeev Shah sir or advanced queries, if lot of us has already gone through for the AI batches. So if anyone has knowledge and want to have any query from Alok Shetty sir also for regarding automation using Power Automate, so you can post here. So when as and when Alok Shetty sir will join us, he will resolve our queries and give his insightful deliberation to all of us and share his knowledge with all of us. As we all know, the biggest event of this year, WUFA 2.0, is going to be organized in Noida in January 30th and 31st and 1st of February. So our President Nanda sir also requesting all of us to join that great event for the knowledge and benefit of our profession. So let's register yourself so that we can take the maximum advantage and benefit of that great event and witness that great event. The target set by our president sir is very interesting. So I think it is the great opportunity for all of us to witness that event. So I request you all. It is opportunity for all of us to save the money, as today is the last date of concessional rate of registration. So get yourself registered as soon as possible. As we all can see that CA Alok Shetty sir is with us, and he is now appearing on window. As time flows swiftly, let us now begin the second session of today's insightful webinar. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our distinguished speaker of this second session, CA Alok Shetty sir from Ajmer, who is enlightening us on a highly relevant and practical topic: automation using Power Automate. CA Alok Shetty sir is a professional with rich experience in technology integration, process automation, and digital transformation. He was been actively engaged in helping professionals and organizations look like tools like Power Automation to enrich efficiency, accuracy, and productivity in their workflow. We are indeed fortunate to have him with us today to share his knowledgeable and practical insightful on how automation can simplify routine tasks and empower professionals to focus a value driven activity. CA Alok Sethi sir is a chartered accountant and company secretary with over 15 years of professional experience in finance, taxation, and technology driven learning. He serves as a AI faculty with AI and master trainer with Skill India. His expertise spans generative AI, finance for non-finance, financial modeling, and data analysis tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau. He has also conducted various corporate and academic training sessions across India and abroad, including Oman and the UK for the learning organization. Over to you, sir. CA Alok Sethi, sir, to take us through the experience session. Welcome, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Ankit sir, and thank you the CP committee for having me in this session. And I welcome all the participants who and all the viewers who are viewing this webinar. So indeed, it is a wonderful topic that is being selected for the members, because now we are moving towards the world of automation and AI, and a lot of tasks is being automated nowadays. So today, precisely, I'll be talking about how we can use Power Automate, which is a Microsoft product, to automate our workflows, to make our life easier, to make our work efficient, and to save a lot of time, so that we can invest that time in utilizing or in doing the things that we do manually. Okay, so in this session we will look into what Power Automate can do. Also we will look into what how we can use Power Automate. So this is going to be a blend of a practical session as well, since I will be taking one or two examples of how automate can be used to do our day-to-day work. So now I'll be sharing my screen, and I'll walk you through what are the features or what are the options available when we talk about automation, Power Automate. So just give me a moment. I'm sharing my presentation. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, sir. Your skin is very well visible.
Okay, great. So basically, Power Automate is a robust platform that empowers user to streamline repetitive tasks and flows. So every day we come across a lot of tasks where we have to do repetition, we have to download some documents, we have to upload some documents, we have to move some files and all. And we are doing it manually every day. That is occupying a lot of time, which is not productive activities actually. So Power Automate helps in automating all these workflows, and it has been used across the globe. It is being used across the globe for automating the various tasks. Now how we can go and how we can start using Power Automate. Okay, so I'll take you to the next slide which talks about automating workflows. Okay, so when we talk about automating workflows, what is the methodology we have to use? So first you have to define the task. You have to define the task what you want to do. That task can be downloading files or uploading files or collecting data, sending emails or updating records. That is the task. Then you build a flow. So you build a logical sequence of what you want to happen first. Let's say every day you want your mail, whatever mail is coming from particular mail ID, you want, if there is any attachment, it should get downloaded. So you have to define the flow that go log into your email, check for the mail from the particular mail ID. And if there is any other document, you download that document and put it in a folder. So you build the flow, then you test and deploy. So before using that flow, you test it so that there are no errors. There is no uh, uh, there is no process which is not happening. Okay, so you check for the working of the flow and then you deploy it. Okay, so these are the three steps that we have to do. First, define the task, then build the flow, and then test and deploy. Then see, every time you want to do this task, you will like to set some triggers, or you will like to automate the process where it understand when the mail is coming or when the data is being sent. So we can set some triggers, or we can set some action points, and using those triggers or these action points, you can initiate the flow. Okay, or you can set up the triggers. So we'll look into how to set the triggers and what are the actions. Actions is what you want the action to be performed. For example, if any mail is received, then you want the attachment to be downloaded. If any Google Sheet response is received or form response is received, then you want a folder to be created or a file to be created. So these can be some actions. Okay, so we'll take an example like a new email trigger can start a flow that automatically sends confirmation message, extract information from the email, or creates a task in the project management tool. Like as we file any return, immediately we get a notification or an email that your return is filed and this is the ITR or this is the acknowledgement. Okay, we get a file also. So how it is possible? This is possible through the automation only. This is possible through the triggers or the action points. Similarly, when a file upload trigger is initiated, it can process the file, it can extract the data from it, and it can store the file in designated folder. So these are some of the tasks which can be automated, okay, using the triggers and the action. Now, what else can we do with Power Automate? Okay, so we can add some connectors. So Power Automate is a Microsoft product. So it will allow you to integrate the various Microsoft platforms across the windows like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, okay, or your Salesforce, your Dropbox, your SharePoint. So you can get the data from your Outlook, put it into your folder, or put it into Excel or Word or something like that. You can also connect to the data sources and use it in your flows like spreadsheet, data sheets like that. So example can be a connector to Microsoft Excel can be used to retrieve data from a spreadsheet. A connector to Salesforce can be used to update a record in the CRM. So let's say if some new client is uploading a Google form, okay, or a Microsoft form, that data will automatically get fetched into your Excel, and you will get an email about the notification. So these are some of the tools which can be used along with Power Automate. Now we can also set up some conditional logic. Okay, I'll come to that later on. Let us first have an example, or let us see how we can activate the Power Automate. So I'll share my entire screen now and I'll show you how we can actually set up a Power Automate in our system. So we will go to Google and we'll write Power Automate desktop download. I'll be using the desktop version because it facilitate multiple operations. Okay. So we will go to install Power Automate. So this is the web page wherein you will get the installation feature. So you can install it from Microsoft Store. Okay. So it will take you to the Microsoft Store page and it will open that page. And from that, you can download the Microsoft Power Automate. Okay. We will just, yeah. So now this is loading. Okay. And here you have an option of downloading it. We have to select the language and then you can download or you can view in store. Okay. So if you view in store, it will open the Microsoft Store page and you can download the app from here. Since I've already downloaded, it is showing me an option of open. I'll click on open and it will open the Power Automate application. Now, to use the Automate, we have to actually log in. We should have an account on Microsoft or Outlook account. Once you create an account, you are good to use. It is not a paid application. You don't have to pay for it. A payment would be required when you want to use the features which are premium features of Power Automate. Unless until that also, you can do a lot of things, lot of automation using Power Automate. Okay. So it is opening. Once it is open, I'll show you how you can create your workflows. Okay. So yeah, it is getting the files ready. Okay. So see, once it is downloaded, when you type Power Automate, you will see this blue color icon. Okay. And you can select it. So let it open. Once the Power Automated is open, I will show you how we can automate the workflow.
I request all the participants that if they want, they can practically do the things as sir is showing on his screen, so we can practically easily understand the same things.
Yes, yes. So by the time it is getting started, you can download it. You can put it download. It will download in 5-10 minutes. And then you can practically work with me. Okay. So that you can also understand the practical aspects of using Power Automate. I'll just share my screen again. I'm just getting setup done. So you can download the Power Automate, you can log in into it and you can run it. Once it is run, we will see how to set up a workflow. So it is similar to UiPath or any other automation like N8N. Okay, the benefit that you derive when you use Power Automate is that since it is a Windows, since it is a Microsoft based tool, it gets integrated with the other Microsoft environment very easily. Okay, so that is one advantage of using Power Automate, and that is why I have put this for the tool to be used for automation. So if you are using UiPath or other automation tools, you will find the working similar. The model is almost similar. Let me download, let me just open it and I'll share my screen again so that we can work together. So, see what we are going to do today. I'll just explain the use case by the time it is getting started, because sometimes it might take some time to set up the environment, and there can be a time lag in starting the Power Automate. Okay. So what we are going to learn today is how to automate the process of moving the files from our download folder to different folders. Okay. Because we see that in our download folder, you see that there are a lot of files which are always there. Okay. Let's say Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF. We download a lot of stuff on a day-to-day basis, and the files remain there. Okay. The files are always there. We don't clean the download folder. Okay. So if you want to organize your files, and you want to put it in a respective folder, like all the Excel files should be put to Excel, all the Word files should go to Word document. Okay. So you can use the feature of Power Automate for that benefit, for that. Okay. So I think now my application is almost ready to get loaded. Once it is loaded, I'll share my screen again, and I'll show you how to go ahead with this. So Power Automate makes it possible to use various flows, and they have already built the flows. So it is very easy for the user to use Power Automate. You don't have to write any code. You don't have to do any coding. It is a low code or no code based platform. Okay. So I will share my screen and I'll show you how to use it. I hope my screen is visible again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you will see that Power Automate, it is getting the things ready. It is generating the environment. It is generating the environment. So once it is done, I will show you the use case. Okay. In the meantime, I will show you my download folder. Okay. So if I go to my downloads, see in the download, you will see there are a lot of files. There is some PDF, there are some HTML file, there is a Excel file. Okay. So a lot of different types of files. There is JPG also. There is a JSON file. Okay. Now I want to organize these files and I want to put them into different folders. Okay. So we are going to use Power Automate for this purpose. Okay. And what we are going to do is we are going to sign in first. Okay. So when you open Power BI for the first, Power Automate for the first time, it will ask you to sign in. Okay. So I'm doing a sign in. So that sign in has to be done using a Outlook account or your Microsoft account. Okay. So it will not allow you to log in through the Gmail, normal Gmail account. You have to use the Microsoft account. Okay. Now this is I've already logged in. Okay. Now this is the front page. This is the interface of Power Automate. Okay. So build your automation journey, begin with your automation journey. Okay. And there is a prompt also. So it has integrated Copilot. You can write a prompt over here. It will give you the workflow. Okay. Then there are some examples to learn from. Okay. So let's say you're new to Power Automate and you want to learn. So you can go to Excel automation. There are some 5 examples like launch Excel, extract a table, search and replace Excel, consolidate Excel reports. Sometimes we are having different Excel files. You want to consolidate and we want to put everything together. So you can use this feature also. So you want to understand any workflow, you can click on edit. It will open the workflow environment and you can see what are the steps which are done. Or we can create our own flow also. Okay. So I'll take one example today. I'll show you how Automate works It can work with Excel, it can work with Word, it can work with PowerPoint also, or it can work with your Outlook also. So it is getting the things ready. Again, you will see this window. Okay. And we'll click on OK. So consolidate Excel reports. The flow automate consolidate across multiple sources and auto generate a report based on your requirements. We'll click on OK. See, here is the workflow. Okay, this is the workflow. Okay, which is there. Now, see, the first thing. Okay, before I explain this workflow, because it might look complicated to you all. Okay, I will start with a new workflow, a simpler one, and then I'll come back to this again. Okay. So I'll close this. I'll go to Power Automate. Okay, we will start with a fresh workflow. So we'll click on New, and we'll click on Flow. I will call it as my file mover. Okay, because I'm going to use this to move my files, so I'm calling it as my file mover. I'll click on Create. So now this Power Automate is going to create a workflow for us. Okay, so it has given, we have given the name my file mover, and now we will see how this workflow can be generated. So whenever you create any workflow, it will give you a window like this, okay, which is called as an environment. Okay. So here we have my file mover. Now what I want to do is I want it to log into my folder, look for all the files, and move the different files to different folders. Okay. So I will type folder over here. I'll type folder, and you see all the list which are related to folders, all the items which are related to folder are appearing over here. Okay, all the actions which we can take using the folder are appearing over here. Right now, I want to get the files in the folder. I want to get the list of files in the folder. I will click here, get files in folder. Now in the next, what I want to do is, I want to get the list of all the files in my download folder. So I have to specify the path. So in the folder, I will specify the path. Okay, I will select download and I click on select folder. So my downloads are in D drive. So it is showing D downloads. Okay. Now what kind of file I want to extract from this folder? I want to extract all the Excel files. So as you all know that the Excel file has an extension of .xlsx. So in this folder, it is going to give us all Excel files. We will type here Excel files. Okay, Excel files, and we will save this. So this is the first step, get files in folder. Folder is D download, file filter is .xls. Now my folder can have some macro file also. So I want to have all the files which are Excel file or CSV file or macro file. I'll put a semicolon and I'll type star.xlsm semicolon star.xcsv. Okay, so I'm taking all these files and now I'll click on save. So this is the first step. We have created the first step of the flow. So it will save, it will look into my folder and it will look into all the files which are Excel files. Okay. After this, I want to move the files. Okay. I want to move the files. I'll type file. And in the file, it will ask me what I want to do with the files. I want to move the files. I will select the option of move files. Now it will ask me which file you want to move. Okay. So I'll select the Excel files because you want to move the Excel files. It is already stored in a variable. So there is a variable. We will select the Excel files. Okay. So that is option is already there. You can see the Excel files. Okay. And now comes the destination folder where you want the Excel file to be moved. Okay. So if we are moving all the Excel files from the download folder, where we want to paste it. So what I've done is I will create a folder on my desktop and I want to call it as Excel files. Okay. So the Excel file folder is already there. I will create a new folder called as new Excel files, or I can say Excel files from download. So let's say I want all my Excel files to come in this folder. I'll select this folder. Okay. And again, it will produce one more variable. Okay. So the variable, I want to call it as moved Excel files. Moved Excel files. So now, everyone, we have created two steps. The first step is get the files in folder. Second is move files. Okay. Now, this is my workflow. So what we did, we selected the first step and then we did the second step. Okay. Now we will save this workflow. We will save this workflow. Okay. And then we will run this workflow. Okay. Once the workflow is saved, I will run this workflow. Okay. Now let us first understand, or let us first see how many files do we have in the download folders. Now this workflow is saved. Let me take you to the download folder again. So my D drive had the download folder. In this download folder, generally how we do it, we sort the data as per type. Okay. So we will sort the data as per type. Okay. And I want to see only the Excel files. So I want to see Microsoft Excel files and Excel enable, macro enable files, all these files. Okay. So I've selected these three extensions. Okay. And it is showing all these files. So if you see, there are 244 items. Okay. There are 244 files lying in my downloads. Okay. Which I want to move to my Excel folder. So what is the folder we have selected? We have selected a folder which I created just now. This is the Excel file from download. This folder is there in my desktop. Okay. Now, what we will do, we will go to Power Automate. We will run this flow. We will run this flow. Once the flow is run, okay, it is complete. Okay, it will obviously take some time because there are 200 files. You will get this output over here. So once this is done, in the flow, you will get this two folders created. Now, when I click on this, it is showing all the files which it has moved. Okay, so it is showing all the files which it could identify, which were Excel or CSV or a file. So there are 273 files. Okay, 273 files. In the moved Excel files, you will see all those 273 files again. So you have to see the same list over here. Okay. Now let us go to our download folder and let us see, do we still see any Excel file there? So let me take you to my download folder again. I'll go to D drive. I'll go to download. And now you will not see any Excel files. Let me show you in the type. When I go to type, you will not see any Excel file. Okay, so you don't see any option of Microsoft Excel. Okay, so this is one Excel, I think. Why it is there? Because I did not specify XLS. So these are the old formatted Excel files. So it did not move these files. These three are the exception, but apart from that, all the files got moved. Now, let me go to my Excel file from download folder and let us see if all the files are there. And I hope my screen is visible to all, and you can see we have got all these Excel files, 244 items in my folder. Yes. So how much time it took? It took just 3 to 5 minutes to create the workflow, to process this, and once it is processed, we can see all the files got moved from one folder to another folder. Now I can easily look for my Excel file here. Now what we will do is, I'll have these files, I'll move it to my download. Okay. I am adding some more files in my download folder. So I'll go to my download again and I'll paste these Excel files. I'll paste these Excel files. Okay. Sorry, D download we have to go to. So we'll go to D drive. We will go to download folders in the D drive and we'll Excel files over here. So I've added 2 more Excel files over here. Or let me take some other files. Okay. Let me take these files from my desktop. So I'm moving these 3 files to my download folder. Just to show you what happens if we get more files, because every day you are downloading something or the other. Okay, so we have got more files and I'll go to my workflow now and I'll do a small change. I will add the .xls also, since I want that file also to be moved. So if I want to do any editing, I can click on edit. It will open and I can add star.xls also. Now we will click on save and we will run this workflow again. So we are running this workflow again. Okay. Now when we run this workflow again you see these variables getting created here. Okay. You can double click on this and you will see these are the 5 files which it identified. Okay. So the XLS file is also come now. And when I look at the second file, it is showing me those 5 files again. Okay. Now let us go to our download folder and check, are the files moved? Okay, so I am going to my download folder and from my download, let us see if we still have any Excel file remaining. So if you look into the types, we do not see any kind of Excel file over here. So there is no Excel file over here. There is no Excel file. So in one click of a button, I could move all my Excel files to a new folder. Now let me go to my new folder, which I just created. And now if you see, there are 249 items. Okay. So earlier there were 244 items. Now we have 249 items. That means 5 files got added. 5 more files got added to this folder. Okay. So this is one automation that we have done using Power Automate. Now you will say, sir, this works for Excel. What about Word? What about PDF? What about all other files? Okay. So what we can do is we can add new steps onto this. Okay. So what we will do is we will add another step to include the PDF files now. Okay. So I also want to move the PDF file from the to the PDF folder. Again, I'll type folder and I'll select get files in the folder. Same step we have to follow. Okay. The folder is same, downloads folder. We will go to the download folder. I'll select the folder and this time I want to move the PDF file. So I'll just type PDF. Okay. And in the variable, I will say PDF files. And we'll save this step. Now I want to move these files. What I can do is I can duplicate this step also. I can click and say copy. And I can paste Control V. We can paste the step. Okay. So you see we have got one more move file option. Now we'll edit this. We will edit this. So now I don't want to move the Excel file. I want to move the PDF files. So I'll select PDF files. I'll remove the Excel files. And the destination folder is the PDF folder. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll create one more folder in the desktop called as PDF files. Okay. So we'll create one more folder called as PDF files. and I will select this folder and moved. I will rename this variable as moved PDF files. So now this workflow is complete. Similarly, what I'll do is I will add the Word file also. Okay, so we can do the same thing here. Get files in folder. The folder is same download folder. You will select the download folder. And here we will write docx semicolon star.docx semicolon star.doc semicolon star.docs. All the types of extension which are available, we'll put all these. We will call these as Word files. Okay, Word files. We'll save this. Then we will say move files. Okay, we want to move files. Now, instead of move, if you want to copy, you can select the copy variable also. When we type move, you will see move file, move folder. We want to move the file, we'll say move files. Then let's ask me what files you want to move. We want to move the Word files. We'll say Word files. Destination folder is the folder which is there in my desktop. So we will select the Word files folder. Okay, you don't have to go inside the folder. You have to select the folder and click on select folder. And we will save it. Here we can call it as moved Word files. Now this flow is complete. We will save this flow and we will run it again. Okay. So when you run this flow, what you will see that the files which are there in download folder, sorry, we wanted to shift the PDF files, but I have put Word files. So what we will do is we will do the changes over here. Okay. And we will select Word files. Okay. No problem. No worries. So we will do the changes later on. So I've saved this workflow. Now let me run this. So before I run this, let me show you how many PDFs are there in my, how many documents are there in my download folder. So I'll select Word document. So you will see there are 99 items in my download folder. There are 99 items in my download folder. And let me run the flow now. Let me run this flow. So when we run the flow, it will run the entire flow. So first the Excel files will get moved if there are any. Then the Word files will get moved. Okay. So now the variables are generated. It is showing 6 variables are generated. If you click on Excel files, you will not get anything because there were no Excel files in the download folder. We already emptied. So you will see nothing. But if I go to my PDF files, you will see the list of all the PDF. Okay. And there are 99 files or more. Okay. So there are more. So it has selected the PDF also. Okay. Now, yeah, we have selected PDF, we have selected Word both. So if you select the Word files, it will show you the Word document also. Now, let us see the folders. So if I go to my desktop and if I see the PDF folder, you will see all the PDFs are here. So we emptied the download folder and move all the PDFs from the download to the PDF folder. Okay. Just by click of a button. Now you will not see any PDF file over here. Okay. There is no PDF file. Similarly, if you see the Word document, so Word files, we created one folder called as Word files. Here you will see all the Word files are there. All the Words file are there. 111 items. Okay. So this is how you can move files from one folder to another folder. Okay. Now, so this is a trigger. This is a manual thing we have done. Now we want to set a trigger. So this flow should automatically happen every day. Okay. Let's say a particular point of time or when a new file gets created. So you want to create a trigger for that. So you can look for trigger. So here these are the actions. So we will get the trigger here. Okay. So we will close this flow. We will close this flow. We'll close this flow and I'll show you how to trigger this flow, how to put a trigger for this flow. So see, here we have the flow. Now to set a trigger, okay, you will go to home and you will see, okay. So we can use the copilot here. We can say add trigger to the flow called as my file mover. Okay. So I want to add a trigger to my flow. I had given a prompt in my copilot. What it will do is it will tell me what is the way to set up the trigger. Okay. Or it might work as a agent also. It might automatically create a trigger, but I don't know. I don't think it will work as a agent here. It is going to give us a outline or the process which we need to follow. Okay. So to use Copilot, you should have a license, 365 license, and you have to take a Copilot license also. So when you take a license, it will automatically create the flow also. But here you have to create a flow. Okay. Open flow in designer. Okay. So I think it has opened a flow. So if you see, yeah. So see, it has already created a trigger. Add a placeholder for adding a trigger to the flow for my file mover. So it opened this thing. Now add a trigger to the flow. So we can add a trigger over here. Now I can edit this. Okay. The action doesn't accept any input parameters. It doesn't produce any variables. Okay. So yeah, add a placeholder for trigger. Okay. So we will go to this placeholder and we will say edit. No, we don't want the trigger using the recorder. We will delete this. Okay. Now we will go to the main flows. See what it did? It actually did this. Okay. Add a placeholder for this. I will say add a trigger to start the flow my file mover every day at 11 a.m. So it will actually create a trigger and that will actually start the trigger, the event every day. Okay. So it had put this trigger. Okay. Add a placeholder for adding a trigger. Okay. It has put a placeholder. You have to do the things over here automatically. It will not do it. It has put it. Okay. So that is how you can use the flow actually. Power Automate. Okay. Now I'll give you one more example. Okay. One more example of web scraping. Okay. So web scraping. What is web scraping? Suppose you want to go get some information from a website. Okay. You are going to YouTube and you want to download some videos or you want to download the information. You can do web scraping also. So it will take a web page, it will take a screenshot, it will save it. Okay. So you can do these automations also. So what we'll do is we will go to flow and we will create a new flow. Okay. We'll call it as web uh, data copying or data download. So what I want is I want to open a website and a particular page and I want to download the data. So I'm creating a flow for that. So as we create a new flow, it will again open that environment where I can put the flow. So it is generating that environment. Now I want to open a web page. So I'll type web page. So all these are the different options which are there. Okay. So it is saying extract data from web page in a form of single values list. So we'll select this. Now it is asking for the web browser instance. So which web browser you want to use? Okay. So we have to use a specific web browser like say Chrome or something. Okay. So we can give a web page URL over here. So let me say I want to get the data from my page, YouTube page. So I'll select this URL and I will paste it over here. Okay. Bringing an actual web browser window to forehead while this display is okay. So we'll select this and we'll save. Or let us select a Chrome browser. So let me type Chrome. Okay. So we want it to open Chrome. So let us select Chrome. Okay, so let us write Chrome. And yes, so launch new Chrome. Okay, so first step is launch new Chrome. We will launch a Chrome page. Here it is going to give us, here we have to give the URL. Okay, so this is the launch new instance, initial URL this. Okay, we'll keep Windows state normal. Okay, so you want to have maximize, minimize or normal, we'll say normal. Target is your desktop computer and browser extension. We will select browser extension only and we will click on save. So this is the first step. Now let me run this. Okay, let me run this. So when I run this, it should open my Chrome and it should open my URL. Okay, so it is running the step. Okay, it will open the Chrome extension. Okay. So if you see, a new window has opened. Okay, a new window has opened and it is opening my YouTube page. Okay, so you can see the page has come. Now from this page, we want to extract the information. Let's say all these videos which are there, okay, I want to go to the video section and I want to extract the names, okay, and their views and their duration, whatever, okay. So what I'll do is I will add another step, okay, to the flow. I will add another step to the flow. So this is the first step, launch. We'll stop this because this already happened. Now we will say extract data. So whatever you want to do, you will just type, okay, extract data from window or extract data from web page. Okay, so we will select extract data from web page. So since we have mentioned browser, it is already taking browser and we will click on save. Now see, once this step is there, okay, you will not click also. Once this step is there, okay, what you need to do is you have to go to your web page which got opened. Okay, and what you want to extract, you will hover over it. Okay, so I think this was not the web page which got opened. I'll show you the web page which got opened. So you will hover over what you want to extract. Okay, so I will be here. Let me close the browser and let me run it again. Yeah, let me run this step again. So let me close this, delete this step. Let me run this step again. Let it open the browser and let it open the web page. Then I'll show you how you can extract that information from there. Okay. So it will now open a web browser. Okay, Chrome browser. It has opened the Chrome browser. It has gone to the URL. Okay. Now we can do the next step. So we can stop this step and we can now go to extract data from web page. So what is the difference between this? Extract details from the web page, get a property, extract elements. So let us go to element. Okay, let us use this element. Now when you say use this element, okay, now when you go to the web page, it will give you what you want to extract. So let's say I want to extract the name of the video. So I'll go to this section. I'll select this section. So on hover, it should actually give you the variable. It is not giving us. So that means there is some error which is happening over here. Very good evening. Okay. So just a minute. See, I will select the UI element. Okay. Now let us click on add UI element. Okay. Yes. So when I click on add UI element, it is saying you have to pick any UI elements. Okay. So what we will do is we will go to the home page again, the web page again, and I will go to my page again. Okay, so let me put that browser again, and we will select what element I want to add. Okay, I want to extract. So we have to press control and the element that you want to add. Okay, so we'll press control and the element that you want to add. Once that element is selected, so let's say, yeah, this is the document. I want to get the element, this name. Okay, so I will press control, and I will select this element. Why it is not the extension? Okay, let me add this extension. This item is inactive. Enable now. Okay. So you have to add some extension actually, then only it will work. So we are adding the Power Automate extension. Now it is going to extract. So now you can see this is active. Okay. So now I'll go to my web page. Okay, and I'll can select what I want to extract. Control plus this. Okay. So we will go to this UI element, add UI element, and I'll press control and this key to select. Think there is some issue with this because it works that ways. You have to press the control key and the over it. Okay, so okay, or we can right click also. So let us right click on this. Okay. So when you right click on it, it should give you the option of adding the element. Okay, right now it is not given them. Okay, anyway, so when you select this, okay, right now it is giving some error, but when you select it, it will actually get you the details on the web page. Okay, and then what you can do is you can add the details into Excel. Okay, so what you can do is you can launch an Excel. So you can say launch Excel. So it will open Excel and it will put all these values over here. So we'll see launch Excel. And a blank document and click on save. Okay, so it will open the web browser. The second step which we are missing over here, we have to add those elements and it'll put it into the Excel. Okay, so when you run this, it will do all the steps. Okay, so this is how you actually automate a process using Power Automate. Okay, there are a lot of examples which can be seen and worked out. Okay, you can go to any website and you can do the scraping from there. Okay, but these are some of the examples which I thought I will share it in a 1 hour time which is available. Okay, so this has opened the web page. That is the first step has happened. And when we go to run the second instance, if you click on run, it will open a Excel sheet also. So it can automate your Excel, your Word, your PowerPoint. You can copy any table and paste it into another Excel like that. Okay. So it is working, and we will see this again. The Chrome page has opened, and we will see the Excel also getting open. So if you have seen, it is created two instances. It should open the Excel also. Okay. So now this is how you can create a process. Okay. And when you want to save it, you can save it in your Power Automate. Next time when you want to use it, you can go to Power Automate and you can run it manually, or you can trigger it. Okay. So this is how automation, small automations you can do. You can do a better, bigger automation also, but then you have to master it. So this Excel also got opened. Actually, it was not visible, but they had got open. Okay. So I think whatever I've shared in today's session, you are able to understand how we can use Power Automate to automate some of the things. And we have Satish sir also. So good evening, sir. Namaskar.
Morning, Alok. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
I
Hello,
was
sir.
also enjoying your session
Thank you, sir. Thank
because you speak in such a way that touches to the minds.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, Sorry to interrupt you between the session, Alok sir. As we all know, Satish sir has joined us. Uh, we are privileged to have amongst us the chairman CPA committee, CA Satish Gupta sir. It is he is a personality who hardly needs an introduction between us, but still, I would like to tell simple line about him. Leading the integrity, inspiring with vision. C.A. Satish Gupta sir is presently serving as the chairman of the Continuous Process Education Committee of ICI. In addition to this role, he is also chairman of the UDN Directorate and vice chairman of the Committee of the Members in Practice for the current term. He is previously served as Central Council member of ICI in 2019 to 2022. He is a renowned speaker and author, a specialist in the income tax assessment, search, survey, professional development topics like goal setting and career planning. He is guiding professional and shaping their future and having excellence in leadership. So I warm welcome to C. Satish sir and
Thank you, Ankur Bhai. Thanks a lot. You
sir.
belong to a place where cement is the king and the that Byaवर क्या पट क्या बोलते हैं उसको तिलपट्टी.
Yes, sir.
Both are the things which are famous of the Byaवर. And thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much for such a nice introduction, whether I am deserved or not. But thank you very
No,
much. And
sir, all are waiting for your remarks, sir. So I request you to please
thank you, Ankur
give
Bhai.
us your
Thanks a lot. Thank
valuable
you,
deliberation.
Alok Bhai. And I am seeing that Kindi Madam is also here, and the team CP and the team Tech and my dear friends who are attending this webinar, despite having busy schedule in the tax audits and the other audits and other returns filing also. But still, you are giving full of the cooperation to the committee and to the educational part of this particular committee. Thank you very much and welcome to each one of you. Friends, I would not talk much today because it is already 6:09. So I would speak some important thing that in the profession we have a very tough time, and we had very tough time this year. Extensions came late, but came, so it could give us a very relaxation in our mind and in our working also. So we could adhere to the quality for which we are famous. So thank you, the government, thank you, CBDT, and thank you, our several associations who took active part in getting all these things done. So, but still, I believe that in the profession there is tough time, and we have to be quality oriented, and we have to adopt the quality, and we have to go for several other emerging opportunity areas, as rightly told by Alok today, that these are the area where we can work, we can adopt the technology in getting all these areas. Because otherwise, friends, something, that tax audit we have, although we have basic limit of 1 crore, but it may extend to 10 crore if the receipt and payments are more than 90% or 90% and above are the through banking channel. So challenges are there and more challenges are to come. We should prepare, and we should be quality conscious, and we should adopt the new and emerging areas of the profession. And for gaining these things, we are holding several national conferences this year up to 31st of December, my dear friends. One conference is at Jodhpur, 17th and 18th of December. We have one conference at Nagpur. We have one conference at Jaipur on 30th and 31st of December. The New Year Eve dates are there. And all these conferences are having session on quality of auditing and emerging areas of profession. I would request each one of you that despite your busyness, kindly attend these conferences wherever you find it and it is close to your place. So I think it will be a win-win situation for all of us. And by knowing the emerging opportunities, we can definitely do justice. So I would not speak much about the CP committee. CP committee doing great job this year, and we are having a target to organize more than 100 webinars this year. And you will, with your cooperation and feedback, we will definitely achieve this target. Apart from this, I would talk something about the UDIN. Yesterday only, friends, we made an MOU with the Ministry of Defense, Army, uh, with the UDIN Directorate. And this is a milestone for the UDIN, milestone for the ICI, that government ministries are coming to ICI for this UDIN integration through API. This is something very great. I told you earlier also that UK, United Kingdom's CBDT like institute came to India to understand the UDIN. So this is something your institute is doing, your the committees are doing. So be part of the suggestions, be part of the feedback time to time. One more thing which I would like to tell about the CMP. Friends, at CMP, we are working on the detailed sales, even and export incentive. These type of courses, you may come to know that what is happening around the profession and where we should also grab the opportunities apart from having these all compliance or all traditional opportunities. So we should definitely adhere to the traditional we should also trying to adhere new and emerging opportunities. So we are coming up with that customs and in AST litigation. We are coming up with the MSME 360-degree course. We are coming with the real estate super master course. So we are coming in 7-8 areas. So try to be the part of all those areas and give your frequent suggestions and feedback. Nothing much, friends. Happy. I think it was really great moment for all of us that you attend all the webinars organized by the CP committee and other committees of the our ICI. Thank you very much. Thanks for being with us, and thank you. We are waiting for your suggestion. All the best. Jai Bharat, Jai ICI. Over to Ankur Bhai.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, it's very great to know about the UDN information you have provided to us. It is really very appreciable for all of us that our institute is doing such a great job. And undoubtedly, CPE committee is also doing very great job. You have said that this year you are having targets of more than 100 seminars. Currently, we know that today we are conducting 62nd CP seminar under CP committee. So really, the very great job this year done by the ICI and CP committee. I extend a heartful gratitude to you, sir, for your guidance and valuable remarks. Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot, sir.
Ankur bhai.
Alok sir, over to you, sir. Sorry for the interruption. Now you can continue.
I'm also sorry, Alok, for the interruption. Alok, Alok is here?
Alok sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
there.
Sorry, sir. Sorry for
Anything
interruption.
remained, please complete that, no?
Yes, sir.
Anything is remained pending on in your deliberation, please complete.
Yes, sir. No, it is. I had completed. I just want to say to the members that you should keep practicing because attending webinar is one thing, but actually, what you learn from the webinar, it is important to practice it. So again, same request with the members that keep updating, and CP committee and Satish sir is always doing great work for the members. So members should take the maximum benefit from it. So this is what I want to convey, sir.
Thank you, brother. Thank
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 you.
you very
you.
much, sir.
Any
Alok sir,
question
we
is there,
all
Ankur bhai?
no, sir. We all know, Alok sir, we all know that about your deep knowledge and experience in the AI, and it's our immense pleasure to have you between us and learning automatic using Power Automate. It's really very interesting and useful for all of us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Our eminent speaker has covered all the topics so comprehensively that there is hardly any room for the doubt. So, thank you very much, sir, and thanks for the wonderful session. Uh, Thanks, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Alok. Thank you, Ankur bhai. Thanks a lot. All the best.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot, all of you. Thanks, all of you. Jai Hind, Jai ICI.